Hello world, I'm Robin Catling and this is Write On. Join me in my author journey as I delve into the craft of writing, bringing you tools, tips and lessons learned the hard way so you don't have to. Character and the moral compass. The pervasive thread of violence in my fantasy action-adventure got me thinking about character and the moral compass. I know it's fiction. These people don't exist. They never did. Does that make it okay? I teach people to hit each other with swords because at heart I'm still a 10-year-old boy, and nobody dies. So far. I grew up on old westerns, King Arthur, The Three Musketeers, samurai movies and Star Wars. It's all jolly fun. But is it? Are you not entertained? Actual death as entertainment goes back a long way. Gladiatorial combat predates the Roman Empire. We believe we're far more civilized than those ancient civilizations, yet fictional death as entertainment pervades a huge swathe of popular culture. Hunger Games, Squid Game, John Wick. What provides higher stakes than a life or death struggle? Well, multiple life and death struggles relentlessly piled on top of each other. It's more exciting than a game of checkers. What should be the ultimate dilemma, kill or be killed, becomes a cheap thrill. In some ways, kill or be killed is a simple choice to make. Both my grandfathers got very little say in it during World War II. Conscripted soldiers, they just got on with it, and had to live with it the next 40 years. But my fiction blathers on about choices all the time, the decisions the characters choose to make. Pivot, the Western genre. There's a thread of Old Testament vengeance runs through most Western genre fiction, an eye for an eye and any amount of smiting, but oddly without the equivalent amount of begatting. That's American Puritanism for you. The culture of the Wild West frontier, the gun and the Bible permeates to this day, largely thanks to Hollywood. Gary Cooper's immortal "A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do" continues through Clint Eastwood's assorted gunslingers and vigilante cops to their contemporaries such as Jack Reacher. We keep returning to the excitement of the duel, mortal combat that extends far beyond the Western. From the Musketeers to Beowulf and Grendel, and on to the ancient Greek epics of Homer's Iliad. Every few years we get another interpretation of Hector versus Achilles, or the 300 Spartans at Thermopylae, most recently in glorious slow motion. Anime treats the blood spatter like high art, Jackson Pollock just in shades of red. Somehow, in our willing suspension of disbelief, we also suspend our moral compass. Death becomes entertainment. Paradoxically, many of these tales centre on justice, honour, and admirable skill at arms. The commandment, "Thou shalt not kill," gets left behind. Morality is demoted in favour of spectacle. Somehow, we're okay with that. It takes something shocking to jolt us into moral outrage, and not just cheap schlock. We need to talk about Kevin, or, on screen, Taxi Driver. Suddenly, we care about morality again. Pivot, a question of scale. Hey Leah, you got a date for the "We Just Killed Thousands of People" dance tonight? Peter Griffin, Family Guy. The original Star Wars trilogy is a series of samurai movies mixed with Battle of the Pacific. The rebels blow up not one but 2 Death Stars. That must include the caterers, the HR department, the chaplain, and at least one head of stationery. At the end, all of us kids cheered the big fireworks display, and never mind the body count. It's as if the higher the body count, the less it impacts us. Pivot. Good versus evil. This is the simplistic morality of most stories. Good guys equal good, bad guys equal bad. Black and white. No ambiguity, no decisions with which to wrestle. I don't know how many people my grandfathers killed between them. One was at Monte Cassino, the other on the Normandy beaches. Chances are they broke that commandment, but I knew them as good men. Alexander the Great, Alfred the Great, Churchill, all lauded as great men. All of them killed a lot of people one way or another. And yet, Churchill good, Stalin bad. Oppenheimer struggled with the morality of the nuclear bomb the rest of his life. Morality isn't all black and white. it's mostly murky grey. It seems you're allowed to do all the wrong things as long as it's for the right reasons. But then we stray towards the end justifying the means. Danger, Will Robinson. Which leaves us exactly where with character and the moral compass. Pivot. Crime and Punishment. Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment is a psychological novel that delves into the complexities of morality, guilt, and redemption. In it, Raskolnikov commits a double murder without remorse or regret. Imagining himself a great man above such strictures as law and morality, he justifies his selfish actions. Plagued by his own conscience, Raskolnikov suffers a breakdown that ends with his confession and imprisonment. Instead of the death penalty, his sentence is mercifully commuted to 8 years hard labour in Siberia. It gives him the time to wrestle with the psychological and emotional consequences of his actions, as Dostoevsky explores themes of guilt and redemption. In the grand tradition of Russian miserablist literature, Crime and Punishment is a tangle of moral questions. It's a masterpiece, if you can get past the first 70 pages of misery, which is why it's not for everyone, even though it should be. Murder is horrific and has consequences. Unusually, for the Russian judicial system in any age, Raskolnikov received a lighter sentence. Conveniently, it allows for that long redemption arc rather than a short execution. The pen and the sword. The pen is mightier than the sword. Try telling that to the drunk who wants to beat you to a pulp at 1 a.m. in Sunderland town centre. Which brings me to my own writing in part 2. That's all for this time. Thanks for stopping by. You can like and subscribe to the channel, or go to robincatling.info to check out the blog.